Hey y'all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon, this is my review channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 2007's Next. Before I dive into it though, I just want to say if you enjoyed my content, please give this video a like, really helps out the channel. And we're a couple weeks into the Summer of Nic Cage, and we still have a couple more weeks of it to go. If you enjoy this type of content and you want to see a daily release, please subscribe for a lot more content and hit the little bell in the corner if you actually want to get a notification. But next, this is a bit of a mixed bag for me. Let me just before I go into all that though, just let me get the plot out of the way. So this is an adaptation of Philip K. Dick's The Golden Man. So one of the few of his short stories that I've never actually read. I am very familiar with Philip K. Dick though, and I could see how this was adapted from one of his stories. I could tell I could see the Philip K. Dick formula, and it's one of the formulas I really like. So I was okay with that. I was okay with the powers and all that. Basically, Nic Cage has this ability to see 2 minutes into the future, and he uses that to get by in life. You know, dangerous situations happens. He always able to get out of it perfectly fine. But one day, this girl comes into his life, and he can see hours into the future, maybe even further with her. He doesn't know why, but he knows he really likes being able to see all this. So they fall in love. It's that, like, less than 24 hours they're fully in love kind of sort of thing. And then you've got the FBI that are hunting him down. They believe they have an idea of what his abilities are. They want to use that to help them stop this terrorist attack, which is kind of ridiculous because they don't know anything about hours. They just know that he can see a minute or two into the future. I don't know how the fuck that's going to help you with disarming a nuclear bomb, or even finding the location of a nuclear bomb. You'd have to wait until 2 minutes before it detonates for him to know where it is. But 2 minutes is probably not going to be enough time for you to get over there and defuse it, let alone just defuse it, even if you knew where it was. So basically, he's on the run. Terrorist group's trying to kill him for some reason. FBI group is trying to get their hands on him so that they can use him, basically Clockwork Orange him into a room, lock him away, just have him see all the horrors that are going to be coming. And he refuses to help, sees in a vision or in a future that his girlfriend is the next victim of the terrorists, and he ends up deciding to help them. They go to try to stop the terrorists. Basic plot. So my biggest issue with this movie is Jessica Beil, and as the girlfriend and that whole relationship. She's fine with her performance. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing that stands out about it, but there's nothing wrong with it. The issue with it, though, is I already mentioned, it's within 24 hours, these characters fall completely in love. There are some good bits. Like, at first she's very cautious of him. When he does explain his powers to her, she's like, oh God, you're fucking crazy. So there's moments that something of a character actually comes through. But for the most part, she is the trophy that this character is supposed to get for saving the day. That's how she's presented. And the only reason that he loves her is because she makes his powers work better. So, but ignoring that, that's really my only issue. The action's all pretty good. There's some shoddy CGI in some bits, but you pretty much overlook it because they're so minimal, and the power of him is just so fun, and it's just a really cool concept. It's not done to the most that it could have been. the potential for this story is 1,000 times better than the actual film we got. But that doesn't mean the film we got was bad. It's mid-tier. It's solid entertainment, but it could have been so much more. But there's some really, really fun bits with how they use this. So throughout the entire film, you'll get scenes where it's playing out and you're watching it and you're like, oh, okay. And then something happens and it's just like, well, that didn't go how I expected it to. And time will rewind and it'll just be him standing there. And, he's just like, okay, well, all right, let me get the fuck out of here. Let me try that a different way. And you'll get all these different versions of moments. There's a really cool part in the end where he's like leading the FBI team through to help find the terrorists. And he basically is just like, I'll check out all these floors. And he just sends the different versions of himself. You see them all like moving around at the same time. It's all different timelines that he's checking out, different options, but it's fun. Like you get to you see him get shot or blown up, all these different things, and then he's just like, oh, hold up, okay, something there, and so it's fun. But that's kind of my issue with it, is that this movie is just fun. It could have been so much more. The performances could have been so much better. Dealing with the fact that the government just wants to lock this person away against their will and use them as a tool is never once questioned by the agents doing this that are presented as the heroes, led by Julianne Moore. Never once are they presented like this is a bad thing. Like they're bad people. In the beginning, they're insidious government agency, but once he's with them and they strap him into a Clockwork Orange chair, the film is still treating them like the way they're talking, the way their characters are in, they're still being treated like they're the heroes. But everything else that you're seeing is they're the fucking villains. And I feel that would have been really fun to explore. I understand having Julianne Moore. I can't imagine Julianne Moore actually playing a villain. It's just not really in the cards. So if that's their reasoning for not doing it, that's shitty reasoning, but I can at least sort of understand it. But one thing that I do want to talk about, this is something that I've seen a lot of other people complain about this film. And it's something that I completely disagree with. But a lot of people I've talked to, and some of the reviews I've read on this, a lot of them bring up the lack of focus on the terrorist organization. How they're kept to the shadows. You don't really know anything about them. What you know about them in the beginning and the end is not any different. So there's no progression of them. And a lot of people had issues with that. It's basically saying that they're not a threat because I don't know anything about them. And I'm just like, do we know much about any terrorist group before they attack and make themselves known? No. So it heightened it for me. How they were presented worked well for me. I didn't mind that aspect. But yeah, I don't know. This is not a film I feel that I should talk about spoilers, because there's really only one thing to spoil, and that's the very fucking ending. I really like the ending. I know a lot of people don't. It's kind of polarizing, I guess. But that is one thing I really did like. If you've seen this, let me know if you liked or did not like the ending. Kind of reminded me of Knowing a bit, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed this movie. Give it a solid 6 out of 10. Like I said, just mid-tier entertainment, but it's solid mid-tier entertainment. It does what it does well, just could do a lot more. And with it being based on a Philip K. Dick short, I really had hoped that they would have done more. But overall, yeah, highly recommend this. If it's for me, if you're big into Philip K. Dick, seek this out if you haven't seen this. This is pretty good. If you're not big into sci-fi, or this doesn't really sound that interesting, skip it. If it doesn't sound interesting, you don't fucking watch this. Like, it's just not for you. Yeah, if the plot at all intrigues you, or you're a Philip K. Dick fan, I'd check this one out. It's worth the time. But that's gonna wrap this up. That movie that I could not recall the name of, that I was completely blanking last video. I remembered what it was. It was Deadfall, and yeah, I'll be talking about that next. There's a reason I'd already blocked it out of my memory after just one day. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this up. As I said, got a lot more Summer of Nic Cage reviews coming out. Deadfall's next, as I just mentioned. But so please subscribe to get notified of those. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this up. Hope you all enjoyed my content, and thank you for just actually sticking through and watching the whole thing. But yeah, hope you all stay safe.